So I guess I'm missing more pages out of this. I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't know why I got rid of them. I don't even think I got rid of them. So, but I'm pretty sure this is the last entry. So it's really not that important either. But I'll just say it. It says, "Wow, it feels like I've been on this boat longer than the time I've spent here," which is true. This was written on August 12th, Tuesday. I was in the Prince William Sound. Excuse me. I was outside of Naked Islands. This is a beautiful area. Naked Island 1, not 2. This was during the noon. So anyway, it says, "I feels like I've been on this boat longer than the time I've spent here. Already it's August, and this is my entry written out of boredom and slight loneliness. Not exactly lonely, I mean. It's just another change of scenery. I'm more anxious because on the 15th we're heading back to Washington. We actually ended up going to Billingham, so that's where we got dropped off at, and I got off the boat. I'll go into that. A lot of people will leave in Billingham because either one, they want to go home and never come back, or two, or no, because they were told they can't stay, or they are told they can't stay to work the last 2 weeks." Which actually we fulfilled at that point in time. Everyone fulfilled their 3-month contract, literally. So they were just like, "Okay, I'm not going to stay," like because there was so little amount of work, but we did so much work. Like I put in so many hours in that 3 months, but I only did at least a month and a half of work at the most out of 3. And let's see, and it says they were told they can't work the last 2 weeks, or they could. And though the work in Billingham is voluntary, they asked certain people if they wanted to stay. Now that's the trick. If they ask you to stay, then that's the last entry. That was their way of trapping people. They would ask you to stay, and if you refused, that was refusal of your contract, therefore you were quitting. Which is complete BS, because if at that point you fulfilled your 3-month contract, there is no obligation to stay, even though they called it voluntary. A lot of people know what I'm talking about if you were on Cape Greig. But, I don't want to say a lot of bad or whatever, but there's just certain politics that near the end not a lot of people agreed with, including myself. And just a lot of people got disappointed, and a lot of people had hard feelings, including myself. And I mean, for specific reasons, is unique to the person or the individual. But for myself, I needed to go, and I actually did not want to do this voluntary extra 2 weeks on my contract because of the amount of work that was unavailable because of the fish, mind you. And this is just my understanding, it's not at all the captain, it's not at all the crew it's no one else's fault, or the tenders or anything. It's just the fish, if you can get them, and if they weren't available, no work, man. So, yeah, they couldn't afford to pay you if there were no fish. That's how it was, and then you're stuck on a boat. But I got to see many amazing things. Out at Prince William Sound, there was this particular weather pattern that was really crazy. The whole sky was dark black gray, except for over one island, Naked Island. There was literally a circle a circle that was over the island of light, of clear sky, where clouds just decided not to do anything. The clouds were everywhere else, all over the sky. It was just a slate gray dark sky, except over Naked Island. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life, weather-wise. Well, I could think of another. I'm sure Colby Jack, you might have some pictures of those if you dig in your phone. Okay, there was this other weird weather pattern thing. off in the distance, there was this ever approaching uh, wall of cloud, and it literally looked like it was snow. Everyone thought it was a giant wall of snow, and we were just tripping out. Like, where did that come from? Like, it was like looking at the longest. It was like looking at the Great Wall of China if it were like hundreds of feet taller. Like the clouds were literally touching the water, and they were just so far up into the sky at the same time. It formed a giant wall of cloud that literally looked like ice, but it wasn't ice. It was just clouds, and it was coming towards us. We were just like, "Whoa, aliens!" Like, this is the weirdest thing. Um, yeah, in Prince William Sound, I got to see another whale sighting with the office lady. You know, she ended up being really nice. I liked her. Um, Captain, you know, Captain's the captain. You know, he is the way he is, and you know what? He got us through it. So thank you, Captain. Um, you know, and through my experience, I've been in that experience, I had my times of extreme disrespect, and so yeah, Nua, if you're watching this, which I highly doubt because I doubt that you even pay attention to whatever it is I do, you know, but if you're watching this, you know, uh, I gotta apologize for my BS. Seriously, um, you know, especially when with the schedules got changed, you know, I should have realized that it was just the way things were and had to be, and yeah. Uh, so, but other than that, you know, I'm sorry for my stuff, you know, and that's all I can say. That's all my part. And so, uh, other than that, you know, there's we actually in Prince William Sound, there's some people fishing for halibut. Um, Not really, but we did see a giant 60-pound halibut, and yeah, that was awesome. We pulled up. No, well, we pulled up and put back a giant starfish with at least 23 legs. It was really cool. I think Devin Brashear caught that starfish. Um, Trying to think. Yeah, we got some weird fish on the line too. There were flathead things. They weren't halibut. They were just strange. They were bottom skimmers. They had eyes on the top of their head. I forget what they're called. I don't want to look it up because I'm lazy. Um, we also got some weird striped fish at one point. It was really weird. But we had to. Yeah, we just our time in Prince William Sound. We got some work on and off, but we had to fill our time with other stuff too. Um, and you know, like I said, everyone got super comfortable with each other. You know, because we all came there strangers. We all came aboard the Cape Greig as strangers, and eventually, as we left, people, you know, left. Certain groups of people left as they came, and certain groups of people didn't. They just left, and they're like, you know what, I'm going with you, dude, because you're cool. Um, but you know, it was like a very close knit community on this vessel because it was just us, no one else really. We had our families out there in the real world on land, but out here, out there, that was a completely different world. Um, like I said, it was just us. So we formed our own communication. We had our humors, and we had our drama. That's for sure. Like me and this guy, we got along at first, and in the end, we did not like each other at all. Um, but I ended up going with him and Colby, and you know, we hashed some of it out in the ride home and dropped him off, and that was that. Uh, you know, all I can say is that throughout this experience, it's just an adventure. Um, I mean, at first I approached the situation as an adventure, and it turned into a very uh, it's Cape Greig. There's no other way to describe it. It's Cape Greig, and you would have had to been there. You know, people still post pictures about it. I mean, people still have their memories. You know, they want to keep that alive, of course. You know, and I kept mine alive in a journal. That's why I even brought it in the first place. I'm sure a lot of people remember me, or probably not, but I'm sure some people remember me having that journal and just writing it stuff down a lot. You know, I drew a lot of pictures in that thing too, but I think a lot of them are gone. Well, anyway, bygones be bygones. That was my Cape Greig experience. Not all of it, because some of the pages were missing, but from what I can recall, yeah, it was a lot more, but, you know, I don't have time for that, neither do you. So, double thumbs up.